Okay, recording is in progress. Got it. So I will start with a question, but let's share the screen and this one. And actually, where from start? So so this evening's topic is AI in assignment creation and grading. So I'll be providing you with more basic foundations. I mean, it's totally up to you to what extent or like where you like to take your assignment creation to or grading skills, whether you like to advance them or not. There are several free tools available, like there are OpenAI's courses, there are courses of Microsoft, and these are all free in prompt engineering and how to write prompts. And there's some tools about like for, especially for educators as well. I mean, so from this can be the start and you can take it further. So as a start, I would like to learn in the last 6 months, how many times have you used AI to generate an assignment? I'd be happy if you could answer the question so we can um, like I'll know your level or whether you have tried AI before. Um, Let me in the meantime check the responses. Can you see the QR code, by the way? I need small to be able to see the responses. Let's admit. Okay. So it's almost a tie. We have people who have never used AI for assignment generations. Like it's 40%, and then more than 7 times. Oh, okay, now it's changing. Okay, we have more people answering. Okay, it's not done yet. I was quite early in judging the audience. Okay. Yeah, I guess it is pretty much yeah, so the audience, I mean, it's about like around 60% of the audience is not that experienced in assignment generation. And then basically around 40%, 60 to 40 is, oh, okay. It changed again. We have more people answering. Okay, so that gives me an idea. So basically, we have people. Oh, okay, over here we have the screen as well. Good. Now I can see it. Okay, this is the first time, by the way, as you can tell, this is the first time I'm using the poll in a presentation. I tried to do it on my own, but it was kind of challenging. One person doing the show. Okay, so this is well a tough distribution, to be honest. Well, there are people who are really experienced, did it before, and there are people who have not tried it at all. Either were wondering, didn't spend the time, or didn't have the time, and looking forward to entering the scene. So it's almost 50-50. So, okay, so I will, it's the foundation. So I'll stick to the basics most of the times. But then there will be tips, and I'll talk about other LLMs other than ChatGPT as well, which may be new for you. New uses like Claude, I didn't really know much about it. I learned. And then Grok, why would you use Grok? Or why would you use Claude? Why would you use Perplexity? Those are different LLMs. And then maybe like prompting, you can learn something new about prompting. So we'll see. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, yes, finally. So what is an LLM? So for the ones who have used ChatGPT before or other language models in assignment generation, this is basically old news. But LLMs are specialized Gen AI tools designed specifically to generate, interpret, and manipulate human-like text. And the examples are, I mean, you all know ChatGPT. There's Perplexity, there's Claude, there's Grok. So there are various LLMs out there. And why are we focusing on LLMs? So it is, I mean, they're really excellent at drafting assignments, feedback, and grading criteria. I mean, for my assignment generation, that's the part I appreciate the most because giving feedback takes so much of my time. And I love giving detailed feedback because I really want students to know what they've done wrong. And I want to be personalized. I want them to know that their assignments are read and read in detail. So I know what's going on over there. So, I mean, that takes that heavy weight from your shoulders. And crafting assignments, for example, I know what I really want, but then back in time, it would have taken so much effort. I'm just putting those in words and then creating the instructions and then creating the grading template before I share it with the students and so on and so forth. But now, when you tell ChatGPT or Perplexity what you want and how you want it, how the output should be, it gives you really nice crafted assignment. Of course, it doesn't come in the first try. I mean, there's no magic really. But it saves a lot of time and it gives you more time to do more creative tasks. I mean, it gives you more time to do other things that require intense thinking and analysis. And it does not really replace you. It never does replace you. That's why all throughout the time that you are using any LLM, you need to be the author. You can, I mean, there is no such thing as LLM accountability. I mean, we tell to the students all the time. It is the same for us as well. We cannot blame AI for making mistakes in grading. We cannot blame AI for coming up with an assignment that's too difficult for the students or hard to understand, and so on and so forth. So you have to be the person doing the decision making. So LLMs are just like your teaching assistants that you work with, and you collaborate with the LLMs way more than you collaborate with your teaching assistant, by the way. You train them, you talk to them, just give them frequent feedback. You didn't understand this, how about this, and so on and so forth. So why is it called LLM? For some of you, it's old news, but it's a probabilistic system. I mean, giving different replies to prompt models. It's basically all about the sequence of words. And each LLM knows how the words follow each other in the English language. I mean, from its perspective, really, when you think about it, what LLM is doing is just completing the sequence. I start the sequence and the LLM completes it. That is why we'll talk about later on, your prompts are really important. That completion of sequence starts with well-crafted prompts. And another part that relates to prompt development is LLM uses verbs and pays attention to the context and different verbs that may have come before the sentence. And it pays attention to the details and pays attention to detail of like how the relationships are formed between the verbs and uses the contextual knowledge to try to predict the next word, and each word, to be more technical, each word is tokenized. And then like this tokenized sequence leads to another set of tokens. And basically building from last slide, these LLMs are not designed to do the exact same thing every time. I mean, I can show you how my negotiations exercise. I had 3 different negotiation exercises with the same prompt. One is like between an American company and what was it? Like a Thai company. The other one was between an American company and a company from Middle East. And then the one that I tried before this session is between a Turkish company and a German company. And basically, yes, the essentials are there, but each time I ask, even with the same prompt, I get something different. And you need to counter in the fact for the fact that in the output of each LLM, there is the internet randomness and variation. That is one thing that you should be really careful about. So the knowledge base is internet. And don't ever think that I'll enter a prompt and the first output I get will be perfect. It's never perfect. You have to keep communicating. You have to tell the LLM what you like, what you don't like, what should be there, what shouldn't be there. And that's how it basically gets close to perfecting or coming up with an output that you like. And each time we'll talk about later, but just bear in mind, if you want LLM, or ChatGPT in this case, I work more with ChatGPT these days. If you want the LLM to remember something, you just say remember. Otherwise, it will forget. It's just like human beings. It forgets very, very easily. And it's like the connections, about neural connections it makes. Just like the human brain, if you don't have to remember it, you don't remember it. Things get lost. And whatever you use the most, you remember the most. But things that you don't use that much gets forgotten. Same thing goes for the LLM. So you need to say whatever you need something to be remembered, just say, remember this and put it in quotations. Don't ever trust whatever is coming out. There were like answer templates or the things that I asked, like about for the assignments. There were a couple of things that I had to correct, and there are a couple of things that I had to say value wrong. That's not how it works. Or we applied it wrong. That's not how it is. And oh, my bad, I'm sorry. Always so polite. By the way, when you are communicating with an LLM, the experts say that being polite pays off. Thank you. Hi. Things like that always does work. And it works marvelous with the human beings and with the LLM as well. Well, again, as I said before, what is mentioned more is more likely to come up. And as the LLMs are trained on internet knowledge, and that's how like we talk about like being ethical and the information knowledge of LLM being biased, whatever is mentioned the most will be served to you. So that's why you need to be on the critical side as well regarding the output. So when we get to different LLMs, so ChatGPT is the most used, most feature-rich, is the incumbent. I mean, OpenAI's ChatGPT revolutionized our world, how we complete tasks, and with the wealth of information they have there and the trainings it went through and the information collected, it's basically still holds a throne. And like among the features, you can have your own projects, you can form your own custom GPT, you can use voice to text or text to image features, thanks to Sora, and so on and so forth. Not many LLMs can do that. And there have been other LLMs after ChatGPT that we mentioned before. They all have specs. They all have their niches. That's why, I mean, we all have our different specializations, really. Mine is business, I mean, part of social sciences. For me, ChatGPT works marvelous. And like the models of ChatGPT basically changes in respect to your specialization. And for example, if you're math and sciences, I mean, hard sciences, let's say physics or engineering, then you'll be using the O models more than the ChatGPT for. So Rina, yeah. Over there you can see the LLM leaderboard and the rankings, and you can get an idea on how they rank, what they do, and so on and so forth. So once you open up ChatGPT on the left-hand side, you will see there are these different models. Like there's ChatGPT 4.0, 4.5, o1, o3 mini, o3 mini high. What do these mean really, and what do we do with it? 4.0 is basically it's fast, and it's really good for most of the daily tasks. 4.5, it's again fast. It's for the daily tasks, but equipped with more EQ. It's more conversational, makes fewer mistakes, and it's true. It does make fewer mistakes. ChatGPT o1, o3, o3. These, like the next, like O, whatever you see, whenever you see O with ChatGPT, it means reasoning. These models reason. That's why it takes significantly more time for the model to compute whatever you're asking it to. And I mean, word of advice, just try ChatGPT. If you don't know which one you need, try 4.0. And then if it does a great job, you work with it, voila, it's great. If the answer is not as good as you expect more like reasoning, you expect more critical thinking, and so on and so forth, then you go to o1 or 3, and you basically try it out. And there is from ChatGPT, there is Sora, text to image and video. Basically, I mean, I gave an example prompt over here. I defined the context. I'll just talk about these later on, but before I talk about, I just wanted to introduce Sora. I would like to create a catchy image for my AI training. I did that, you'll see it later on. The training is for academicians who want to learn about assignment preparation and grading. My instructions are, there's one instruction, can you please generate an image I can use in my presentation. Voila, this was the image I got. Later on, I pushed it a bit more. I pushed it a bit more, but none of them were as good as this one. So I stick with this one. Basic, simple, really nice image output. I mean, what can you do with this one? A lot, really. I mean, if you're making your custom videos, you can like generate different images and then put them together. Or if you're in different part, I mean, depending on what your specialization is, really. I generate only videos for pre-class, so I use Visla with videos, but with image, I like Sora. Anyhow, going forward with the other LLM. So there's Perplexity. I mean, mostly used ones. There's so many others, but there's Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and Grok. To be honest, I use Gemini. The advanced version, I paid for the membership as well. For my own purposes, I am happier with ChatGPT. It has more features and wider like knowledge base, and that works better. And Gemini hallucinated more in my own experience. I mean, you may have different experience. Hallucinated more and got stuck way easier compared to ChatGPT. Froze in that case and got stuck, and you had to just close the window, open the window, just like he is, write everything again. So I don't really like that one. Perplexity, if you need access to data in real time, that's the keyword, real time in Perplexity, because Perplexity has access to data. It is default mode of Perplexity, and Perplexity never stores anything. I mean, they're like more privacy concerned than ChatGPT. That's one of their foundational principles. And for ChatGPT, you either need to give it a prompt saying search the web, or there's a search the web actually like button, and you can press that one. Sometimes, I mean, as soon as you mention like internet, okay, I'm searching the web. So it gets in that mode as well. Use Perplexity if the latest information or information changing in time is required. I mean, I use Perplexity a lot in the beginning because one thing I like about Perplexity that ChatGPT doesn't have is Perplexity always at all times uses in text citation. I mean, there's not one thing that Perplexity creates that does not have in text citation. I mean, if you ask ChatGPT to give in-text citation, of course, it's going to provide you with in-text citation. But with Perplexity, it's innate. It's how it's designed. And also, like DeepSeek, I borrowed that format, I think, from Perplexity. Perplexity, it's quite neat, tells you line by line Okay, this is what the person asked me to do. I think this is what the user wants me to do. And the assumption is, okay, I am doing this. I'm searching the web now. I am going through these resources. These are the websites I'm going through. And in that manner, I can see what it goes through. I can see the legitimacy of the resources that it goes through. So Perplexity is really, really nice in that regard. So you can basically see the knowledge it sifts through. Claude does not have the access to internet, but it is really, really nice in diagram generation. That's what I realized today when I was checking out Claude. Flashcards, really nice, really good job. I'll give a small demonstration of Claude and GPT as well. I talked about Gemini a bit. It's Google's. I mean, if you have a Google account, you can access it. But again, even the Pro version didn't really work out for me. I don't really want to make you biased towards an LLM, but you just need to check it out for yourself. Grok is interesting. Has no limits. That's one thing about Grok. I mean, that's one spec that I know about Grok that's significantly better than the others. For example, if you ask GPT about something, is ChatGPT finds it like unethical, unacceptable, or can sometimes refuse out of nowhere. Even if you know that it has done it before and can do it, you say, no, I'm not doing this, or I find this wrong. It's ethically wrong. I'm not supporting such a question. Grok does everything. You ask Grok something, no, there is no ethical restrictions. And well, whatever you ask it to do, if it can do it, it does it. So if you get stuck with ChatGPT or other models, well, I don't want to do this, try Grok. It doesn't refuse easily. Claude. So the next one, so I'll just like go little by each LLM. Claude uses. So you can create, I forgot to mention that one. You can create a custom app just for you and deploy it in your browser. These can become local apps that can run on your browser. That's one thing that Claude does. And it can create diagrams summarizing conceptual articles. I mean, I use it for my own article as I have authorship and I can easily share it with Claude. And I'll show you the example. I really like it. I'll use it. I asked ChatGPT to create the same diagram. It was miserable. Yeah. So from this point on, it's quite likely that for diagrams, for like turning conceptual knowledge into diagrams, simplifying, and for the students, that's what you can do. I mean, you have a conceptual piece, you have a summary, or you have a complex article that the students need to see in a diagram, in a mind map, then you can use Claude. I mean, that's how I would use Claude. And you can create flashcards for studying theories, events, or concepts. You can basically assign the students creating flashcards for studying the exam. That would be one good use of Claude. So Claude the diagram example. So this is what I entered. I didn't keep a log of that one. So this is the prompt that I entered to Claude. I have a research article with my colleague. I attached the article. And there is one thing though, if you do not get the pro version, as it's with all of these LLMs, sorry, if you do not get the pro version, what you can attach is quite limited. So I attached an abstract, which was 4 pages, and it was enough to create a diagram, to be honest. So I tried to do it for another article, which was a full paper. Not didn't work. I have to get the pro version. I may. But for small piece, like small articles, I mean, just for you to try first before you get the pro version. If it works for you, it works great. Anyhow, so the first thing it came up with was just like this long. It wouldn't fit anywhere. No one would understand. I wouldn't even look at the diagram. I mean, yes, nice, but it's not what the diagram is for. But this is too wide. It will not fit in your page. Can you work on a simpler model? Now this is what it came up with. I liked it. Oh, voila. I mean, this is actually what the paper is all about. So really nice diagram for myself. Of course, I need to check. I checked it, and that's how I knew. I checked it with ChatGPT as well. ChatGPT just
Hocam,
created something just like straight
I'm
down.
so sorry for interrupting, but are you sharing your screen? I have a feeling that you are sharing your screen, but I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry.
Am I? No, no worries. Am I sharing screen?
Oh no, you're just okay, you're just talking. I'm sorry. Because you are, I mean, it looks as if you are referring to certain visuals. That's why I had a feeling that I'm really missing something. I'm so sorry for interrupting then. Sorry.
No, no, I got concerned as well. Like, okay, like I've been talking like how many minutes? Like so long, and then if no one sees anything, complete disaster. Thank you.
No, no, you are sharing your screen. It's cloud
Okay,
diagram output. Yeah.
okay, okay. Thank you. Now I'm relieved. So that takes the level of anxiety down now. Okay. So flashcards. I mean, one thing that you can do with Claude is flashcards. By the way, Claude responds best to precise instructions. I mean, the prompt that I entered before is more ChatGPT-like. ChatGPT works best with those prompts. For Claude, you can be precise, shorter. It works the best with those. You can structure like prompts like this and for flashcards. And this is what I use for like create 15 flashcards about Cold of World War One, format each card as this and return them as markdown list. Actually, I have that one ready. I can share that one now, just so that you can see what Cloud looks like. Yes, this one, share, and then let me make this one. Yes, exactly. Okay. Yes, finally. Enter full screen. Thank you. Yes. Sorry for technical difficulties. That's why I'm not transitioning that much. Now you know why the speaker is not transitioning that much back and forth. Anyhow, so this is the first group of flashcards that I entered like the prompt here, and then World War One causes flashcards are over here. And what was the I don't want this over here. Yes. What was the assassination that directly triggered World War One? The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to Austro-Hungarian throne by Serbian nationalists, Prince, June 28, 1914. Correct. Good job. Well, I mean, you need to go through these though, these flashcards, and make sure that the knowledge, it is accurate. I mean, before you provide it to your students or before you use them yourself. And flashcards is a nice spec that it has. Let me go back to the presentation now. Yes, share. Cool. Okay, so what do these like LLMs mean in our context? I mean, as we have just gotten away from the topic a little bit, let's go back, just recapping. It is a sophisticated partner, your teaching assistant at the very max, and just like it corresponds with it talks with you, it remembers. I mean, make no mistake, it does not learn. It does not learn. It only remembers. So, I mean, there is a distinction between learning and remembering. It remembers your preferences, and that's how it can custom make responses according to your prompts. That's why, as you work with them, as you say, remember, it can give better responses. Basically, it frees up the time, allows you to focus deeply on conceptual understanding, learning creative tasks, and it does not really, again, replace your human insight. It does not. So you need to constantly be on the top of it and supervise your assistant. I mean, simple uses, we mentioned a bit, but I would like to move this here. So you can, I mean, it can help with grading and giving feedback to student work, example prompt. These prompts are really short. I'll talk about prompting later on because I mean, these will give you like really generic outputs, but still, I mean, we'll do the work. Tell me a grammar rule that has been violated in the student's essay. I mean, you paste in the essay or you attach. By the way, one thing, if I ever forget to mention this, I would like to say it now. When you are submitting the student's essay, assignment, anything related to the student, please make sure that you get rid of the student's credentials, name, number, first name, whatever. It is essential. So you strip the assignment of student credentials and then you submit it, or you can basically paste in the essay. But it just makes the window so crowded. I don't like seeing the essays pasted. That's why I strip it from the credentials and I attach it over there. You can create personalized learning materials. I mean, every instructor, I mean, we all know the level of the classroom. I mean, that's how it's one of the ways that I can cater the material to the students. In my context part, I most of the times mention the fact that they're non-native English. Their English is not their native language, and their level, like undergraduate students, soon graduating seniors, and so on and so forth. The feedback I give is, okay, I want something simpler. This is too complex for the students. I mean, that's how you create, you personalize, you customize learning materials for the students, the assignments for the students. You can generate lesson plans and activities. I mean, one thing that we're going to talk about, I mean, that one activity that I generated and used yesterday was creation of a negotiation activity. So this is a really miniature prompt. The actual prompt is way longer than this. And what you can do, I mean, fake essays, and then you can ask them to improve the AI's work. And you can even ask ideas. You can do brainstorming with AI, asking ideas on like how to support students. Example, how can I empower my introverted students through my in-class activities, or like the students have difficulty in understanding this concept, how can I make it come to life? So these sort of things. So prompt engineering. So as I talked about before, prompting is really, really essential. The quality of your output hugely relies on your prompting. It is like art. It's essentially an art of crafting precise inputs to guide the output. So what does precision give us? I mean, we get the full potential out of the language model. We basically get the language model to give us the output that we want with less frustration. I mean, if you start with a really simplistic or like with a general prompt, you're going to get something general. You're not going to get something specifically catered for yourself. It's just like a human being. If you don't tell your instructor or if you don't tell your assistant what you expect from your assistant, how you expect your assistant to provide the output for you, your assistant is only going to give you a generic work. The same thing goes for the LLM as well. Your prompt should have explicit instructions, necessary context, and even like if you require negative prompts, you should tell the AI what not to do not do it like this, or like sometimes the output, I don't want the output to have oral presentation. Because like I always tell AI, well, just make this like AI proof. I don't want the students just go to AI and get this assignment done. And one thing is essentially what it does is correct. Always suggests oral presentation. No, we don't have that time in the class. So no oral output. There's something else. Give me an alternative. It's really essential when designing assignment questions or grading rubrics and so on and so forth. So these all, by the way, would give you an output. These all. Hi, can you please generate a negotiation exercise? You'll get an output. Can you please develop a negotiations exercise for undergraduate international management students? You'll get something. You'll get something with I want the exercise to take 40 minutes. I have 9 teams of students. Again, you'll get something. And then you can improve it saying, hi, I'm teaching undergraduate international management student course for graduating students. Their native language is not English. This week we're covering negotiations. Attached chapters we'll be focusing on. Of course, we're not attaching the chapters. We're attaching the summary or PowerPoint slides because I mean, if it's an open source, yes, you can use. If your open source book you're using, you can attach the chapters. Otherwise, I mean, as you know, there will be copyrights and you can't basically attach the chapters. But I especially want you to incorporate negotiation planning document that I created, and I have 9 teams of students. I'll be spending 40 minutes. And now this is all context, by the way. I have not even given the instruction yet. These are all context. This context is required for an accurate output. So best practice in prompt design, be clear and specific. As clear as you can. I mean, the more clear and specific you are, the better it knows. I mean, remember, it basically creates the output based on what you're giving it. It follows what you have started. So the better it is, the better is the output. Provide detailed context. Assign a role. I always wanted to play the instructor or the teacher role. I never do. As a teaching assistant, can you create this? And then when we start working together, then it assumes the role of teaching assistant. It doesn't try to be the instructor. So we work as assistant and the instructor together. You should identify your expectations. What do you expect? I mean, output format, and how it's table, or like, do you want a Word document, PDF document, or where do you want students to submit the work? How do you want them to submit? Use delimiters if needed. I mean, in negotiations, I want you to focus on this. This needs to be used. It has to be there. So it needs to be in quotations. And when you're giving instructions, to put it in sequence and tell it, please go step by step. And again, the clarity and structured. The more fine-tuned, the better is the output. So this is before and this is after. So before is basically what I showed you before. And the after is, yes, I changed this part. So context. I clearly mark where context is. I mean, this works, by the way, great for ChatGPT. As I said before, Claude works different. Claude likes more shorter, more precise. It works this way and works perfect. You're my teaching assistant for the undergraduate international management course. I'm teaching. The students are not native English speakers. I have 9 teams of students. I'll be sparing 40 minutes of class time, each exercise. This week's topics, negotiations, attached are PowerPoint presentations. We'll be focusing on instructions. 1, I want you to create an exercise. 1A, the exercise should require them to use course concepts, especially in quotations, negotiation planning document. 1B, please create instructions for the separate roles, as there's the American firm and then the Thai firm. So I want separate instructions. I don't want them to be on the same document, and I don't want to work on separate. I mean, actually I can, but I don't want it. I want ChatGPT do it all, and then I just like see how it goes, and then like if I like it, I'll just download. If I don't, I don't. We'll work more on it. And then 1C output should be a submission to LMS. And second instruction, finally, please create, admit. Please create a grading template. This is really important. Do this. So this will take us to the next step. The next step is, of course, our grading. So for us to have easy breezy, more comfortable, less frustration grading experience, please, it would make life easier when you create a grading template, including rubrics, as you are creating the assignment. That will bring you to the next stage. Even if you're not using AI, for grading, which sometimes I don't. I still like this one because then having the rubric, I mean, like then it makes sure that I am more fair across board. And I have an explanation to the students when they ask why did I get this grade. I mean, this is why you got this grade, you fall in this range. And again, what matters is the collaborative approach. You can have various types of assignments. I mean, it has been really transformative for me using AI as my assistant. You can let the students use AI in your assignments. I mean, for one assignment, I got the students use AI, and I want them to be creative. I told them, well, for your final presentation, because we ran out of time and we didn't have time for the final presentations. And in business management, you have to have presentations. And I know that they need these skills, video prep or just introducing themselves, using AI skills throughout their career. So I asked them, well, for your presentation, you're going to come up with a video prepared with an AI tool, and it needs to be seen. It needs to have this and this. And so I came up with the guidelines. For the guidelines, I used AI as well. And I got them use their creativity, and I got them use AI as well. Not all works came out to be perfect, but one team just nailed it. It was the best video ever, and I learned some things thanks to them as well. So I mean, and students, most of them who did the task the way it should be done, they basically attest to the fact that we learned so much about how to use AI and how to use different tools of AI thanks to this exercise. I mean, sometimes, and as I grade the students' works, I got to realize that they find so many ways of cheating the AI detection tools. I mean, at this point, I mean, GPT-0, it's not working anymore. They already found a way to trick GPT-0. So it makes more sense if we can go towards assignments that get them incorporate use of AI in brainstorming, in idea creation. I mean, not content generation, but in things that will get them started, or using AI, different AI tools in presenting what they have. So, I mean, those are the things that would enrich their experience and would allow them to have a head start once they graduate as well. Negotiations exercise, I basically crashed for the last one. And the movie assignment, I used AI for that one as well. So I mean, you can do so many things depending on your specialization. I mean, whether you're coding, whether you're creating images, whether you need to create images, plans, and so on and so forth, or math problems. Basically, they require different prompts and sometimes different LLMs. So making, as I talked about before, AI detection tools are not working that effectively. So what can we do? Making AI use either irrelevant, visible, or valuable in assignments. That's one thing that we can do. You can require them to prepare drafts and ask for reflections, the process. So putting emphasis not only on the output, but the process. So, I mean, output generation, LLMs are really good at, but they cannot synthesize the process. They cannot fake a process for you. What you learned in the process, what changed, or group discussions, get them discussed within the group, among the groups. And then, so what did you learn? So thinking back about it, what changed, kind of things. Those AI can't fake. Those they cannot really use AI to generate and not generate for them. So I mean, the critical perspective, make local knowledge. I mean, making everything local. I mean, localized assignment using Turkish firms or the industry like that niche in Turkey. And making like whatever is local makes it really, really hard for AI to basically, I mean, as I said before, it's trained with specific knowledge, and that knowledge is internet. And the more local the knowledge or that you require, the less accurate the output becomes. And the less accurate the output becomes, the more the student has to rely on his or her own thinking. Getting them embrace AI as a co-author, just like we are trying to do now, just embracing AI as a teaching assistant. Get them use AI and be transparent about it. You can do like prompt engineering challenges, AI versus human comparisons, just like, I mean, get the output generated by AI and get the student well criticize the AI output. And involving, as I said before, oral responses, presentations. So those are other way of making assignments more AI-proof. So AI-assisted grading. So what you basically do is you can provide, I mean, one part that I like the most is providing the student with feedback on the assignments. I mean, it takes, I mean, as you know, providing the feedback takes hours and hours. I mean, I used to spend 2 days for grading student assignments that were like a couple pages long because I had to read it like line by line. Yes, I know. I'm so detail-oriented. Like I had to read it like line by line and then just enter a comment. Okay, this is not, no, this is not how it's used. No, you can't do this. Or, well, seriously, like those kind of comments. So what AI, and then plus I was always concerned about the fairness. I mean, every instructor has their like punchlines or like things that get them tricked. For me, it's fairness. Grading has to be fair. So I get hung up with that. So I give it the student 50, but there was one other paper that I gave 60. So how does the 60 compares to 50? And that AI does marvels. I can get ChatGPT, I tell ChatGPT basically it's like compare them against each other. Or what I can do is because the more computing it requires, let's say you have 30 students and then you ask ChatGPT to run each paper, the ones that it's graded before, it collapses, it freezes after a certain number of students, or it starts hallucinating. I mean, it's just you basically overdid it. It's like, I mean, it's all overdone. The brain gets baked. So what you do is it's like the same thing that we used to do with the desktops and the laptops. Turn it off. You close the window and open a new window, and voila, it's clean slate. You can start again. But starting again means you're not going to get the same output again. Ta-da! That's the catch. So try not to overdo it. I mean, overboarding, it creates problems. So what I do is I selectively, for example, like while grading, if I get suspicious, I'm like, okay, like we graded this student with 50. There were 3 other papers that got 55 and 50. How does this paper, and I give a tab of course, student 1, student stuff like that. So how does this paper pair with the other 50 ranges? Great, it prepares a perfect table. And all it has like your table with grading template. Like, for example, you grade accuracy, learning experience, whether the movie is mentioned or not, I mean, from the movie assignment, and then whether the student disclose the use of AI, and so on and so forth. So it basically puts the students and compares them to each other, 50, and then tells you, well, it's quite fair. It's quite adjustable because as you look through the table, there's this and this and this, and then it's quite fair and so on and so forth. But it always needs to be paired with your judgment. One example is, as I said before, ChatGPT or the others, the students do things that can trick GPT. or I mean GPT-0. So I work with ChatGPT in AI detection because ChatGPT can actually tell me if I push it, you need to push ChatGPT in the way that, okay, if you were a student, if I were a student and asked you to do this, what would be the output that you would give me? You can run it against that one. And then you basically catch the phrases like that as well, and it catches the phrases as well. Now, compare this with the work of students. That's how it can basically use that one, use that as a grading base. And also, if you, as you're reading the assignment, you see suspicious words. It's like higher level than the student's work. Okay, the student uses higher level concepts, or these concepts are not mentioned in the book. I never taught these. So where are these coming from? Do you think an LLM is into this? I mean, well, looking at it again, you're right. One thing that you shouldn't forget, one more thing, is LLMs are people pleasers. If you push LLM too much, taken for granted, it's going to give you responses that you're looking for at some point. If you create your custom GPT, one thing that you can do is you can tell your custom GPT, please be critical and say no. When you don't agree with me, then it kind of helps with that one as well. It tells you, no, I don't agree with you. Or, you know, what did you think about this one? And so on and so forth. The grading process. When we look at the process, remember the rubrics that you created as you are creating template, grading template, and the rubrics, you start with that one. You enter the prompt along with the grading template that you generate the AI assistant, and you submit the rubric and the students' papers individually. Never ever submit all the student papers together. I mean, taken for granted hallucinates. It does. I tried. Yes, I know it hallucinates because I tried. At some point, it really does confuses the papers to each other and then tells things. And if you don't check it, voila, there you go. There is like hell breaking loose. So one by one, and don't ask too much. And please remove the student's identification from the papers as you submit them. That's really important. Student 1, student 2, and then you basically keep track of it. Ideally, talk with your AI assistant about what you like, what you don't like. With each grading you get, you need to, I mean, there is no magic trick. I mean, you may be thinking, then what's the point? I'm again doing the grading. But it is the assistant makes life easier, creates the feedback for you, and then makes sure that it is more fair across board. That's one gimmick it has and makes it faster, to be honest. Like doing it with AI, I feel like I have someone working with me, so I keep working till I finish grading. I don't leave table. And then one more reason why I don't leave the table is the fact that once I close that window, open another one, enter the prompts, it will see things differently as it is. So once you start grading, ideally, I mean, finish the entire thing, or next time you'll be working harder to get the similar things. And if you like something, anything that the AI did, and you want it to be done that way, next time, tell it to remember in quotation marks. Tell it to remember. And next time, when you open up another window, you ask at a task, or you can start with, do you remember the time? Do you remember how we did this exercise? It is more accurate then. If you don't say remember, and then ask about the task, even when you have a custom GPT, by the way, if you ask about the task, okay, do you remember how we did the coding yesterday? It comes with something irrelevant. No, that's not how we did it. But when you say remember, you close the window, you open the window, and you ask for the task, and it's the way that you want. Yes, let's walk through a live demonstration. And okay, this is the AI grading. So let me share the screen with you. Hopefully this time I'll have less problems. This is Let me go population ecology example. No, it is this one. Okay. Yes, share screen. Sure. Yes. Okay. So this is the ChatGPT screen, and this is from my as you can see on the left side, I have my custom GPTs. I have branch practice. I have strategy course archives. This is for the strategy. This course guide. This is like for research. CBA emotion, another research, global strategy dynamics. It is a course that I'm teaching. International management is a course that I'm teaching. So when you are creating, I'll talk briefly about custom GPT, but if you have frequently used prompts, if you keep doing the same tasks over and over again, to get the GP to remember the best about what you're doing and how you like things to be, and then have the GPT have a unique voice for the instruction, for the teaching versus research, then you can create custom GPTs. And here are the projects. Projects are completely different. Projects are for you to keep these organized. So you don't have this crowd over here, but then you carry them in your project. It's just for organization purposes. And this is, you can customize knowledge in it as well. So, I mean, for this one, I entered like the articles I liked, I entered my summaries, my research, everything is in this course guide. Or this one has my article, my definition of emotions and how it's defined in my article, the chart, everything is in here. So if I ask, it doesn't search the information through the web, but it goes towards my archive, my like knowledge that I provide. If I ask it to search the web, then it search the web as well. Anyhow, so it is within my international, no, it's the Global Strategy Dynamic course. So this is the prompt. So again, the context. Movie assignment for Global Strategy Dynamics course I'm teaching for my undergraduate students whose native language is not English. Attached are the instructions and grading template. Chapters 1 to 5 need to be applied in the assignment. So as it's my custom GPT, it already knows the concepts within those chapters because I mean the summary was provided, PowerPoints were provided. And then the instructions, here's where the instructions start. As my teaching assistant, please evaluate whether one, the student was able to apply the concepts accurately. So this is one thing, accurate application. The second one, whether the student watched the movie or used an online summary. 3, whether the student made an effort to apply the concept in case, and I define in parentheses, in case of inaccurate application of the concept. So I really don't want to penalize a student for getting the concept wrong. I just want to see the effort as well. If you made an effort, honest effort, then I'll give you the grade. And 4, the student used an LLM to generate the content. Please run the papers against each other as I upload new paper to check whether the similarities due to using LLM exist. I'll upload the student papers one by one. Attached, you can find student 1. Thank you. And then movie assignment, class act, episode 1. It was one of the movies that I assigned. Below is a structured evaluation addressing your 4 criteria. So goes one by one, application of the concepts, accuracy, and then here the analysis is less precise. Chapter 1 is pretty good. Chapter 4 is less precise. Watch the movie versus online summary. Moderate likelihood that the student watched the episode. One useful diagnostic is, here is the vagueness in the second example from chapter 4. It's generalized and less anchored in memorable visual and narrative moment. Efforts despite inaccuracy, yes, even this and this, possible use of LLM, inconclusive, but signs of partial LLM use, and course paper comparison, it's not there yet. So here you have the criterion. And then, I mean, if I ask it to give me a specific grade, it would have given a specific grade, but this one the instructions don't include that one. But as I asked for new student papers to be, it will be here. or it will give you these, and then, well, if you ask it to compare, it will keep on comparing. Should I use rubric based on scoring system as per the guidelines? I mean, here we can just say, can you please, am I here? Yes. Can you please assign a grade to the student? Please on the assessment. Okay, here's detailed final grades. I like it. Okay, so here's the student score and maximum amount of points. These all, by the way, come from the rubric, the template. Application of concept, I mean, goes by chapter. The student had to apply 2 chapters, by the way, according to the assignment, understanding the strategic context, like 8, 22, 17, like 7 out of 10, critical thinking and reflection, clarity, and effort and engagement. Gave 75, there's solid attempt with meaningful engagement and partial concept mastery. So I actually went to the student paper and looked for myself as well, and I downgraded the student's paper to 70 because I thought that with the applications and with the critical thinking and reflections, I subtracted some grade, and there is obvious AI used, but it was from formatting. And because it was user formatting, I did not want to penalize the student heavily, but I penalized for undisclosed use of AI. Because I'm trying to get the students understand the fact that any AI used should be disclosed. I mean, it's in my syllabus as well. Any use of AI should be disclosed, even if you're using Grammarly, even if you're using like Quillbot, even if you're using ChatGPT. I mean, one of the students emailed me and asked me after this like reading, well, I got low grade and like why this is, and because the thing is, the student's paper, I mean, ChatGPT marked it like perfectly, and I saw it myself as well. There were such staple phrasings that you would not expect from I mean, I know the student, I know how that student writes. And then I could see similar phrasings used by other students. And those students, of course, got like lower grades. I mean, some of them were worse than the others. Anyhow, so I explained to the student that there is ethical breach because you were supposed to, even if it's for formatting, even if it's for even if it wasn't for generating of the content, I really don't know, looking at your assignment, extent to which you used the AI. The phrasing, the structuring, everything is AI. So how can you assure me that the content is not generated by AI? And rule 1, you were supposed to disclose it. So that's why some students got downgraded harshly because they did not disclose. It's one way that I found making it less likely for them to use AI. It's essentially punishing, but punishing in our culture, said enough, works better than rewarding. I mean, at least in my experience. Okay, stop share and let's go to this one. Yes, again, very much. Share screen and yes. Share. Yes. Let me move over here. Yes, and we're done with the demonstration. I talked about it a bit, more than a bit, but custom GPTs. Why do we need custom GPTs? On the left-hand side that you saw, I create a lot of custom GPTs. If you have repetitive tasks requiring similar prompts, I was so sick of it. I mean, yes, I have prompt library. I mean, I really advise you if you're not forming custom GPT, even like with custom GPT, sometimes I copy and paste, but there is less need, to be honest. if you copy and paste same prompts over and over again, and you keep telling GPT, you don't really understand, do you? Why aren't you remembering? Why aren't you learning? Well, it's not there to learn. It will not learn you. Not at this phase, not at this like moment that we have the GPT. But if you create a custom GPT, you will save yourself the frustration and hurdle of entering the same things over and over and over again, and it's more stylized. It is more customized according to your expectations. In time, it remembers more and more. The more you work with it, the more precise the output becomes. For example, my research project, I used it as a coder. I coded the entire thing, and then there are things I wasn't really sure at. And then I entered like how I define the emotions and so on and so forth. And I was okay, like I am between like these two emotions. What would you say? And then would give me feedback. Okay, I think it's this one. But then I was just like ask, just like talking to your colleague, okay, like I don't really agree, and then all this, and you keep conversing, and then tell it to remember next time you code something, it remembers how you coded. And then asked you, so would you like me to enter this in our library of how we coded things together? Perfect, voila, do it, remember it. And next time I ask for something, it gives me what I expected. But if I don't have the custom GPT, it is more hit or miss. It is harder for it to remember, to be honest. Ensuring the same quality of output. I mean, that's basically, it saves you so much frustration. So, I mean, getting towards the end of our presentation, finally, you may be asking, so when are we done? So getting there. So the limitations and hallucinations. I mean, the biggest problem is hallucinating. Biggest problem is it gets absent-minded. Biggest problem is it can omit things. So it is really crucial to understand limitations, and you need to understand AI will be one of the best teaching assistants that you have ever seen, but you need to encounter the fact that it is absent-minded. It can make mistakes, and you have to still supervise. You need to guide your assistant, tell it like one by one, sometimes it's just like closing the road, hold by the hand. Okay, this is how we're doing it. We're doing it. And then next time it does it better. And if it forgets, well, remember, do you remember? And if it doesn't remember, you tell it again. And then this time you say, please do remember. Believe me, it will remember. But then it hallucinates, especially if you overload it with tasks. I mean, let's say 54 students, 100 students, I'm grading the papers. I submit all of them at once. No, there's no way. There's no way. No way in hell. It's not magic. It still has to compute things. I mean, under the hood, it works a lot. So it crashes. And then what you have to do, it freezes. That's really, I mean, it's something that you don't expect from AI, but it stops. World stops. And you close the window. Next time you open the window, it's clean slate. As good as that. That's how you get rid of it. Every AI generated output should be carefully vetted. Grading, assignments, everything. Again, there's no magic trick. There's no easy way. Yes, it makes it easier. It definitely shortens the time I spend for assignment generation, grading, writing feedback, reading everything in detail. It does. I mean, even with the pre-class assignments I give the students, I give them like questions and they answer over Slack. That's our discussion board, getting ready for the class. Even like when I'm giving feedback, if I feel overwhelmed, I get help of ChatGPT. Okay, let's give feedback to the students together. We give feedback together. I mean, sometimes I do it all myself, on my own. I like it, but then sometimes if I have too much on my plate, I have no time. But students need to see, because they need to feel validated. They need to feel like, yes, she cares. She is reading. Yes, I am reading. I'm responding with my assistant. It's not like I don't, but then we answer together. And then be vigilant and correct. Don't give up on AI. Don't give up on it. If you see something wrong, correct it and tell it, please remember, I don't want it this way. This is how I want it. If you give up, get frustrated, it will do the same thing one other time again. It's just like educating your child, I mean, you just have to keep training. Practical tips is the last slide, I promise. So prompts. The quality of the input defines the quality of the output. Always start with a clear and detailed prompt. Remember, I mean, the context was as much as the task, because that context is really important for LLMs to work with, or I mean, at the very least for ChatGPT, it is really important. You can use negative prompting if necessary to steer AI away from unwanted content. Don't use this. Don't use information from internet. I don't want it. That's the negative prompt. That's an example of negative prompting. And always combine AI output with your own insights. I mean, there's so many times that I revise the assignments or revise the grading with AI precisely due to this fact. I need to be able to take the credit. I am the person accountable for creating, generating that activity and doing the grading. So I need to make sure that that activity, that exam, those questions, whatever I prepared, are at the level of students, things that they can do, things that they will enjoy, things that will enrich their experience. Because remember, I mean, these things may come from a biased perspective, biased background. Overall, the entire thing is biased. So you need to make sure that it is in time more catered towards your preferences, your students. And you're the only person. AI doesn't know about your students. AI doesn't know what an Özü student looks like, what that student feels like, what the frustrations are, what they expect. You know. So you are the authority and you are the person who has the ability to supervise your assistant. Regularly update your prompts, even if you have a library of prompts. I mean, sometimes, when I used to work on only prompts, well, I would revise the prompt in the moment, and then I would revise it. Next time I go, I'm like, oh God, I forgot to revise it. It's all gone. It's gone. So if you revise it in the moment, you realize that something is missing in the prompt, original prompt, and you don't fix it, you save it like that, next time you'll have the same problem again. Make sure that you regularly update these prompts if you have prompt library. Involve students. I mean, I get students' feedbacks all the time. For example, the other day, I didn't mention that one. Oh, wow, sad. I didn't mention, but check out NotebookLM. You can use NotebookLM to create podcasts. They're really, really nice podcasts. I prepare them for myself as well. So let's say there's a lengthy material, like reading, that you like the students to do, or something that you like them to learn in a more fun way, because like everyone likes listening to podcasts because they're so real. And you submit it to NotebookLM. It's a Google tool. It's a Google tool. I mean, if you have a Google account, it's easily accessible for you. And it comes up with a podcast. And I started using that one for my pre-class preparation. I give my summary, and then the PowerPoint slides, and then for example, in-class material I'll be sharing. That's really influential for them to understand like the current news. That's really an application of the business news. Or the concepts that we'll be using. I insert them over there, and then there you have a really nice podcast, and they enjoy it. And I ask the students, how do you like the podcast? I start inserting them, and they're, wow, I really like the podcast. It's awesome. It's more fun. It's more fun than the video, and it is significantly longer than the video. The videos I prepare are like 5 minutes long, but then the podcast is usually 10, 15 minutes long. It's longer because it's more explanatory. There's the like Q&A. Yeah, involve the students, like learn what they like, what they don't like. I mean, I do it all the time. If they don't like one part of the assignment, for example, they didn't like, to make them AI proof the assignments, I had not only within the group, but also among the group discussions. As the students were not really ready for the content, it took like so long for them to discuss within the group. And among the group was extra challenging, and they always ran out of time. And the students were, can we please get rid of that part? We can't. It is just too overwhelming. And then I got rid of that one, but then I replaced it with something more challenging that required them to reflect on their experiences. So if you're taking something out based on the feedback, you can still keep it challenging, but in a different way. Yes, and save your prompts, mostly use prompts in your prompt library, especially if you don't have a customized GPT. And well, thank you. Wow, I am surprised. Almost 1.5 hours. Well planned. Yes, that's it. That's whatever I had. I learned and I practiced, and I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I know that it's kind of late at this point, and most of you just wanted to just like sleep on this or just light the nose and try a bit. And I mean, if you have any questions along throughout the time about the use, how you can get access to these, or just the trainings about these tools, please shoot me an email. I'm always available. I'll get back to you for sure. Thank you for your patience and being here, for your energy. It was really nice for me to present my colleagues my experience and what I learned.
Can I ask just a very quick question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Şebnem Hocam.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It was really useful. As you were mentioning that the students have to disclose that they are using AI tools, and as teachers, should we also disclose that we are preparing the assignment with AI as a footnote or something? I don't know.
To be honest, I tell them. I mean, like when they see, okay, like how, like, okay, like I use AI. I told them all the time. I'm quite transparent about that one. I tell them, like, believe me, I use as much as AI as you do. I use it in my what was it, like the generation of the content. They see it, like the video generation. I generate video for them through AI. I create podcasts with them through AI, and they know that I work intensely with AI. And when they ask like for a feedback and like on their assignment grading, I tell them honestly, like, okay, listen, I graded this one with ChatGPT and it knows what you have done. So with a similar prompt like yours, it gives a similar output. How is that possible? And then, I mean, being transparent always just gives the best results. They know that you're using, and you know that they're using as well. And that's at least what I think.
And one more thing, I noticed that you wrote context with 3 stars before and after, and then instructions with 3
Yes.
stars. Is this it's like I perceived it as a code while talking to AI. Are there any that kind of sort of secret codes that you communicate? Now, I mean, this part, it means context. Now I'm giving you instructions or...
Exactly. It's just making sure that they're clearly outlined so it doesn't get lost. I mean, I used to do it in like one pile, but in the trainings that I took and later on I tried myself as well, when you delineate them, when you clearly distinguish them with like stars and like bold things, it can distinguish better and gives you better outputs. I mean, it works better that way. It's interesting.
It's really good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the questions. Another question. Okay. Then again, I'd like to thank you. Thank you, Şebnem Hocam, for the questions. Thank you, all of you, for being here. And well, again, I'm available for any questions, feedback. Yeah.
Nilüfer Hocam.
Thank you very much, Nilüfer Hocam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. Pleasure to be
Have a
here.
great night.
You too. Bye bye.
Teşekkür ediyoruz hocam. Nilüfer
Ne
hocam.
demek hocam, ben çok teşekkür ederim.
Evet.
Hepinizin emeğine burada olması, enerjinize sağlık. Çok keyifli geçti. Böyle çok büyük bir heyecan yapmıştım. Ama
Bunun
güzel
devamı
geçti.
bunun da
Good
devamı
vibes.
gelecek tabii. Çok teşekkür
Bu good vibe'la böyle bu gelen gazla ben şimdi bütün trainingleri veririm.
ederiz. Türkçe yapalım. Belki bazı hocalarımız da şey yapabilir. Çok
Olur,
teşekkür
olur,
ediyoruz
olur.
hocam.
Ne demek, ben çok teşekkür ederim.
Sağ
İyi
olun.
akşamlar herkese. Görüşmek üzere. Kendinize çok iyi
Herkese iyi
bakın.
akşamlar.
İyi akşamlar
Bye
herkese.
bye.
Hocam teşekkür ederiz. İyi akşamlar.